Minister for Presidency, has been there, I think, for the last 5 years, and she retained the office. That's Honorable Bavidie Mire Babalanda. What did you have to say about?
She's done well also. Everybody will not be happy. You do things here, people feel bad, you lose some friends. But because for me, this is what I understand about that place. One of the things which are coordinated from there are the RDCs. And the RDCs have a lot of impact because they live in a community. She's really, that part of the RDCs, she's done a good job. She's increased the number of RDCs. In the process has created employment for many people who never had a chance, many younger graduates and cadres. If her stay is going to mean consolidation of those things, so be it. So be it. Because I see even their welfare has been enhanced.
Yeah, it has been.
They used to earn peanuts. By the way, let me tell you something also. I hope she will not be hurt about it. I don't know. You see, President Museveni, everybody knows him in their own way. I don't know. Women, he respects them a lot. Oh, he believes they speak in good faith. Mira is not a pushover. There are things where she can say, Your Excellency, with respect. This one, no. This one, no. This one, this way. She can put her views. She's not without a spine. The way some people might think from a distance. She's somebody who can really debate with the HE, can exchange views, can make her case. And it's a good ministry for Busoga, for the country, for women. Because I don't think there is anybody who can be able to be within the president's universe from time to time more than he who becomes Minister of Presidency. And it's a job which a lot of people have been lobbying. I know this for a fact for years. Going to Guru, going to all of these places, trying to market their candidates. It's a lucrative position because it means unlimited access to the president. And you certainly have to be somebody who the president personally has confidence in. And I think Mire Babalanda does tick all the boxes, I think. For the president, she's loyal. She's not going to upstage him. You see the entities she supervises. There is UPPC. There is this one which gives us permits. People who drive, if you've gone to renew your permit, you know how efficient that place is. Yeah, it's very efficient actually. Exactly. Very efficient. They have generated revenue for government, NTR, they are called non-tax revenues, lots of it. You go in there, you pay. You can even imagine you are not in Uganda. You might even think it's not part of the same government. Very efficient. I think this has happened because Mire gets the good cadres, puts them in positions, gets for them resources, and they keep her distance to allow them to do their work. Because you might put a Musoba there. He's called Musoba, the one of AIDS Commission. Nelson Musoba, the boss. You put him there, very good man, good intentioned, well intentioned, very knowledgeable. But if you're a minister who is going to keep interfering, he will fail to deliver. But I think Miller allows people to do their work, keeps a distance, and gets resources for them. Being minister presidency can easily get for them the HE. You know, many things these days are about the president, president. I think it's a good thing, but it's not something I can tell you that I expected. I think she might end up being one of the longest holders of that position. Because really it's one of the most lucrative. Somebody else will tell you, don't make me VP. Don't make me PM. Don't give me anything else. Put me in that place. And it indeed was a very big bombshell to many people. Very many people thought she was done. Thought she would be there again. Because since the days of Amelia Chamba, whoever becomes PPS to the president, that's a very powerful person. I've seen generals bowing to a PPS. Imagine all of those very powerful people. The natural ways, the state house control and the like. But all of them are under Mire. That's the law, by law. All of those are supervised by her. Yeah, they are all supervised by the Minister of Presidency. Yes. And if she's able to remain with her good PS, Haji Kakande, I think it will be good really for that continuity. Because I've not had, I talk to ministers, a lot of intrigue. I've not had many ministers who have a problem with Mire. Even when she goes to war, she will know when to de-escalate. When it had started with Rebecca. And I think some wisdom came to her and realizes that this war really is destructive. It might really be costly. And she knew when to pull back. There are people who feel but I think Babalanda knows She has a lot of natural intelligence. You know that natural intelligence, which is not learnt in school. Being able to calculate, to know when to de-escalate, to know when to go, to know when to pull back. And she's even SDA, I think.
Yeah, she is.
And that's a minority. You know, minorities in the world matter. You cannot afford to disregard the minority. Because now they have her, they have Rosna Mayanja, Tichadondo. This is really, it scores a lot of things for the president, I think. Okay. She's even an MP.
Yeah, she's an MP.
You know, when you don't have a constituency in Museveni's universe, you become weakened.
Yeah.
But she has a constituency.
She has a constituency now.
And I was looking at the Gazette and was able to see that she got some good votes. You know, at her level, she would even manage to be unopposed.
Yeah, sure.
Because we've seen less humans also getting there to be unopposed. This one would, because the other DCs has, everybody's has, but she has that humility to say, let me go and compete, and then the people can have the last word on me. I think that one is okay, but really I was surprised. I do not know for how long she can be kept in that same position. You know, the jury is out there, we shall see how it goes. But me, I was surprised because it's lucrative, it's juicy. People think, and I would not think that General Museveni would allow somebody to do it for 5 years and more. 5 years and more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have Minister, Office of the President for Security. That's Honorable Jim Muhwezi. I think Jim Muhwezi is not someone new.
I know Jim. I hope he knows me also. I hope he still knows me. We've not interacted for 2-3 years or more. But him and Susan, the wife, and can talk about him next time really. But he's from Rukunjiri, where Dr. Besije comes from, and he's a historical. Actually, he has only remained where he has been.
Okay.
He has, I'm told, issues with General Tumukunde, because these are two bulls coming from the same district of Rukunjiri.
Same district, actually.
Same district. But General Museveni, as being Museveni, you know, has kept both of them there. He knows we don't know what his calculus is.
What he's doing.
What he's doing.
Yeah.
He's stable. And Jim looks up after a lot of people. He takes care of a lot of people, historicals, and you know, there are people who have done some work before many of us were born, and we don't even know why Museveni values such people. That network of people who supported the war, people who provided intelligence, you know. If you can read the book of Kazola, Betrayed by My Leader, cover to cover, you will discover a lot of those informal networks. I think Jim Muhwezi does galvanize networks like those.
Okay. Then Minister, Office of the President in charge of Science, Technology and Innovation, Ingenia Asimwe Jonald.
This man comes from private sector. That one I know. He's also a second member. He's actually the vice chairman of the NRM in Western. He defeated Chris. He's the one who replaced Chris Bariomunsi.
Okay.
And I think he's a man from the MK University.
Okay.
And incidentally, Aggrey, he has a company. It's called the Jonald Investments. He's the CEO. It's an IT company. He's so much in IT. I think they have sent him home. They have sent him to do what he knows, what he likes, what he has been doing for the rest of his life, I think. And also personally, we've been running many of his opinions. I don't know if you've realized. He writes opinions. We've been running them. I've never met him. I don't even have his number. But they have been coming to us through a handler.
Yes.
And I recently spoke to the guy. I said, look, today here there is a second meeting. That guy who always, you know, passes on those articles. He said, Musajja, hey, atula museke. You want you to help me to become his friend, you know? He said, let's give it time, you know. But, you know, he's there. I'm sure he's representing those things. But also, this also speaks to the growing fusion between the party and the government. Because this is not the only second member on this list. There is Aruna Kasolo, who we shall talk about later on. There is Chodu, the one of Eastern. So now you have a vice president for Central. Kasolo is right there. Rather chairman of the party for the region. You have the one of Eastern. You have the one of Eastern. Echodu. By the way, who is the one of North? The chairperson in North. Isn't it Engola?
Not Obua.
Is Obua. So 3 of them are now in executive. Then they are from Chadond as well. I do not know what General Museveni is really seeking to achieve by doing something like that. But, you know, people who come from private sector, we believe they are high standard, they despise mediocrity, they are results oriented. I think the jury is still out there. I do not know how it ends. Because you see, Aggrey, with the mediocrity we talked about from the start, even a good person is going to be diminished by infection. I hope he doesn't get infected.
Okay.
You know, we've had good guys coming to cabinet. We say, wow, things are going to happen. He can't get overwhelmed. Because if you're going to sit in a group of about 100 colleagues and there is a lot of mediocrity, you are a good person, you are also going to become spoiled.
Okay.
I plan and hope that this engineer, really, it ends well for him.
Himself.
I hope so.
Okay. So here we have Minister for Kampala, Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs, Honorable Minister Kabanda, and she has been holding the same office.
That's true, and I tell you, I was surprised. This surprised me. I hope a lot of people are equally surprised.
What really surprised you about Honorable Kabanda? Is she not delivered? Is she not delivered?
You know me, sir. I'm not sure if she knows me, but I know a lot of people in High University there in the office, the PAs and what, even if the High Executive Secretary is my former lecturer at Makerere, that Professor Dixon, I forgot, Kamukama, you know. Minsa is a Kampala person. Her story starts from Kisenyi. You know where I grew up in Mengo Parish, hers is Kisenyi 4, I think, Kisenyi something. She was a counselor. Yalinga counselor wa Muruka. Ngatula ku division ya Kampala Central. So she's my counselor. I know dwaliro ya mu Kisenyi erijanjaba abanaku. Alina mu Kisenyi oba it's health center what I don't know. But of course she's an MP.
Yeah, she's an MP.
She's an MP of that area. I hope she can use this position to galvanize support for the party. Because really the MP Kampala Central, as long as they are NRM, they have always been ministers. Because we had Babu there.
Yeah, Babu.
This is really one time we attempted, and the first Babu was a minister, was an MP of Kampala Central, was able to be in cabinet. But of course, Minsa is lucky because Babu was already state minister. But Kabanda is a cabinet minister.
And she has been a cabinet minister.
Yeah. And she's done work. She's done work. You see the projects in the metropolitan. Look beyond the Kampala city with its chaos. Go to Wakiso, go to this Hoima Road, go to this Nakauka side. There are projects which are real upcoming and they have some funding. I hope she uses this opportunity to consolidate those projects and keep going. But also, you remember we have a council which is not dominated at State Hall.
Yeah, at State Hall. At
State Hall. Now you need a Minsa Kabanda also who can really be able to do business with the Valimwezos, that new team at State Hall. Can be able really to work out a deal and not have a very belligerent relationship between the elected leaders of Kampala and the executive of the country. I think it could help Kampala to maybe even get more resources, because General Museveni has always been very paranoid of a State Hall which is headed by somebody he cannot be able to do business with on one or two things. So Kabanda can talk to Valimweza. I'm sure they're already talking, friends. There is a conversation, an interesting conversation, to see how the two can coexist.
What it affect at least? What it affect Valimwezo?
It might. Politically, he will have to pay. There will be a cost for him to pay. But Kabanda also has the business community in the city here.
Yeah.
Those Hamchigundu. I don't think she even has to spend money for her campaign posters. Those guys, Kuagarana and the rest of it, those are her people. And I think it's a constituency. But she's also a Muslim.
Yeah, she is.
She's also a Muslim and she works with a lot of people in the opposition also. Okay. She really does, and we good luck to her. We hope she does a good job.
So we have.
But there are a lot of people who are angry, even within NRM, even within Kampala. NRM is a part of intrigue. They have a lot of intrigue. There are people who are very, very unhappy. You will hear them soon. They will say, oh, I don't know, she's not my person as such, but from a distance, General Museveni knows why she has kept her there. Even when people like Susan think she's scandalous, she's synonymous with many bad things, corruption and what have you. We wait and see. It's too early. We shall see how it goes.
Stones are the woman whenever she gets an opportunity. Okay, we have Honorable Ingnia Hilary Onekia, the Minister, Office of the Prime Minister, General Duties.
The man from Lamu. I would like to reserve my comment. Really, I don't have to want to talk much.
Okay.
About him, but he's wealthy. He's many things, you know. He's from Acholi, and he's historical. You know, he has supported General Museveni for a very long time. But you know that position of general duties, really, which Justin Lumumba has been occupying. I would think really it's a very demanding position. If one is to do their work in the ideal sense, to require traveling, being delegated by the Prime Minister. I don't know really if Engineer Nek really has that energy. We shall see, but people who know General Moses Sali could really understand what I'm talking about. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But he's been with General Museveni and delivering things in actually for a long time, you know. For a long time that actually was full of FDC members, MPs. And he was always one of the few who were NRM from Acholi. He's popular with his people. In Lamu, his district is called Lamu. He's a very humble man, extremely humble. Very humble, and good luck to him.
So we now have Honorable Justin Kasule Lumumba as the government chief whip.
That's good. Yes, for me personally, Aggrey, because I'm here to give my views, not if those of another person. You see, Justin Lumumba, for me, I think this is a good thing. She's naturally a people person. This does not mean she does not have enemies.
Of course she
There are
has.
people who will say that man, you know, is talking it as who, she's satanic, she's evil. Those things will always be there. But Justin really, and then, you know, she has done this job before.
Hey, she's never been here.
She's been recycled just like my friend General Tafire.
Okay.
She was a chief whip. Because Justin first became a minister was at Landis. That time I was very active in journalism as Minister of State. At Landis there, it was housing or something. Housing, I think it was housing. She started from there. Because for her, I don't know if all of us Sogas are like that. For her, she doesn't fear Museveni. She will tell him what she feels. If you put her in a ministry which she thinks she deserved a better one, she certainly will find a way of putting her message across. Okay. That's feedback, because Aggrey, if you buy me a cup of tea and I tell you your coffee was not nice, I don't think that amounts to being disrespectful.
No.
So she started from Landis. Then the naysayers said, hey, she's done. General Museveni, at a time when people thought she was going to be fired, they thought she was on her way out, put her to Parliament to be the chief whip. Okay. She was there before. She was a chief whip. It was from that office that she now went to Chadon to be the Secretary General.
And she did a very great job there.
Now, Justin loves people. She's a good person. She's a mobilizer. She's a Catholic. You know the Catholics, by the way, are in. We can talk about the Baganda, the Basoga, but on religion, General Museveni really had it right. I think it's one constituency which he cannot afford to offend the religion.
Okay.
Because the Catholics, you see, Nambaja is a Catholic also. Jessica is a Catholic.
Hey.
On religion, really. General Museveni on religion balanced his things. So Justin is a very good Catholic. Mwana wa Maria, Mukatoliki. Teyeta gakola appointment okulaba Archbishop. She's really grounded there. Okay. And there are people, you see, when they become part of the Museveni universe, will become so psychophantic, they even want to stop being friends to their friends. Justin and Salam Musumba are very good friends. I think they are OGs from Namagunga. I think, if I'm not.
I was watching a certain podcast. Was it an interview where someone was interviewing Salam Musumba? She was complaining about the outgoing speaker. She was like, you know, ever since that lady became speaker, she distanced herself from me and a lot of people. Yes, we were very, very, very close. Yet me and Lydia Wanyoto, despite Lydia Wanyoto being NRM, we are very, very close friends. I said that even yesterday she was celebrating after winning the, was it after swearing in? She went to she went to the other, like so. Yes. At least
now Justin, I think, is the best friend Salam has. I think, because they are very, you know, they go to salon together, they go to do their nails together, because they are friends. For me, there is a time I interviewed Justin when I think she had just become the Secretary General. These things I shouldn't say. She said, come and find me in this place. You know, I'm called Vianney. I'm called John V. Vianney.
Yes.
So one time I said, boss, I realize you like me. You know Buluba, Aggrey, you can be a friend of Buluba. And you feel like you are forcing yourself on this person.
Yeah, you're forcing that.
Now you're forcing.
Or maybe you're being friends just because you want something.
Madam, I see you like me really. I feel I'm in the right thing. Listen, you can kolagana finger mtufu ya musananga ntufu. Kati lumuna ngamba you see why I liked you very much. Because even my son is called Vianney.
Okay.
She told this to me. And I said, oh, I can see I was right. So she likes people. So I interviewed how they were with Salam Musumba there. Eating popcorn, you know, doing their makeup. Very close friends. There. It's a salon. It used to be on Parliamentary Avenue. And so she's able to remain a friend of Salam Musumba. Some people do not even want to take her phone call because of who she is, because she's opposition. I'll tell you one small story. In 2013, I was active in journalism. Were you born at that time?
2013? Yeah, I'm born of 1991.
Was that boy born?
I doubt it.
Me, I was in Kampala and I was a journalist. You see, Sejusa fled the country and went to exile. You know, he wrote that thing of the MK project and it was a very famous letter. I used to work at Red Paper. It caused our newspaper to be closed for months. With Daily Monitor, we wrote about the thing and the MK project. For you to insinuate that the president's son has... there is a possibility that one day we'll ever be president. I was in Makerere, I was studying a certain course. I even had to get a dead year because I was in hiding because of the story I wrote. So I was very close to that Sejusa story. Now Sejusa became Sejusa. He went to BBC and they said things about General Museveni. There is a Mzoga called Poba Chibinga. Works in BBC, is the one who used to interview and host Sejusa on Focus on Africa.
Bachibinga.
Bachibinga, yes. So I think it's related to Professor, this just DJ Bachibinga there. So, Tumwine had been a very good friend of Sejusa. He's a general, he's a fellow historical, they are from Ankole, you know. Tumwine actually is dead. But this is what happened. Sejusa yali ali mu exile. Simanyi bi yali apanze nga tannaba kudduka. Kati wamala okufuluma, I think he expected the colleagues be yaleka behind to take certain actions, to undertake and do certain things. Things were not happening. He was on his own, he was abandoned. Because I'm going to London, I'm going to explode from there in the BBC. I think he had already arranged his interview with Bachibinga.
So you expect them to get things
to also maybe come up and make a solidarity statements, because there was this widespread disgruntlement among historicals that they had got a road deal, things were not going their way. So Sejusa from his exile in London was busy calling. So he calls Eri Tumwine. Tumwine had his place there called the Normal Gallery. He was calling, so the phone was flashing like this. There is a friend, not me, was seated with Eri Tumwine there on a table there at Normal Gallery. And the phone, the friend said, General, the assistant said, they are calling you, please pick. Era nagamba bwalekerawo okuba n'essimu tugijjeko. Kubanga kati afuuse woolira woofiira wenjikwatira ngenda kufuna ebizibu because his communications are being, you know, followed. That shows you the level of fear people can have when they are in those positions. That fear to anger and annoy and disappoint General Museveni. You know, these are colleagues who had shared a blanket in the bush and everything, but he was not able to take the call. Now Kasule is not going to hide because she's chief whip. Then Bwamulaba ne Salam Musumba begin muletera obuzibu. She will be with Salam. She will explain. I don't think General Museveni is so petty that he's going to question her that why are you talking to Salam? But even if he did, the Kasula I know really has a spine. You know, John Nagenda died sometime back. One time he wrote an article in the New Vision. One Man is Weak. He used to write every Saturday. He wrote something and stated, there's a time everybody was frustrated with the cabinet. Even Nagenda, who was a Museveni man, he wrote a thing. It was very controversial. He said this cabinet was full of spineless men and women. That they are not capable of advising the president. He is advising him alone. Nobody else is adding on. So we used to joke with ministers who would say, but are you one of those that Nagenda talked about? Kasule Lumumba is not a spineless person. She's somebody who can take the HE to say Mukama wange ekyo tekijja kukola. ekyo kijja kuleeta obuzibu.
She's a Kadag type.
And respectfully, without being disrespectful. She has certainly made mistakes. I don't know they are there. She's not an angel. We are all humans. But I think in that position shows that General Museveni still has trust in her. You know, there had been a lot of effort since her days at Chadondo by a lot of people to soil her. People in the State House, people in the party, people in the cabinet. Because that position of Chadondo was really powerful. Very powerful, being Secretary General.
And actually, by the way, speculation that she will return to the same office, and it's what I expected as well.
By the way, she was the first to go there after Mbabazi.
Yeah, after Mbabazi.
After Mbabazi, she was the first Secretary General who went in there, and it was not easy. And I tell you, she changed things. The party used not to be funded the way it's funded today. But with that little income, that little revenue, she was able to do things. You see, I used to work at Red Paper in the days of Mbabazi. That headquarters of the party did not even have toilets.
Imagine.
One time we sneaked in there with some youth leaders and we took pictures of the offices. It was total dilapidation. The party would be without water, without electricity. Lumumba moved in. And now the blame was on Mbabazi. Then people would say, you see, the president has not resourced Mbabazi. Mbabazi is just a sacrificial lamb, is being sacrificed for the sins of the chairman. The chairman doesn't want a strong and vibrant secretariat. Remember, demystified that. She moves in with the Namayanjas and the rest. They tried to do some work. They rebuilt it. That place was really dilapidated. And the younger people used to fight in Chadondo. People would take months without salary. People who ever suffered this can bear me out on this. It used to happen. Forget about people who work in the districts. But even the branches, those offices were not there.
They were not there.
This thing of having them permanent, ongoing, whether there is elections or not, it was a Lumumba thing. It started during her time. She's a reformer. She reformed that place. Of course, you can't do everything through one Secretary General. She did what she could, and then people who came after had to do more. Actually, Todongo was her deputy, originally.
Hey, Todongo was Lumumba's deputy.
Yes, they worked together. She was Secretary General for all of that time. And it's a difficult office, man, because people are going to blame you. The second members will say their welfare is not being addressed. Then they will blame the Secretary General, ministers, everybody. And by the way, Kasule, you see people like my friend Daudi Kabanda. I hope he hasn't forgotten. I hope he can have an opportunity to confirm this. Those are some of the cadres who were brought up by Justin.
Hey, Kabanda is a product of Justin.
Yes, okay. Justin empowered him. And I'm sure she empowered many other people. Many people. And
I think he's doing a very great job.
Because Daudi, we had known Daudi to be a cadre who was based in Zimbabwe. Where he used to work with the Honorable Sam Kutesa. But how he goes to Kasambia. Kasambia had a man, he was not a small man, that you know him, he's called the Mwate Kamwa.
Yeah, Mwate Kamwa.
You know that MP? Was a high profile man, a rebel MP, had been in parliament, had caused the chaos, vibrant. Kabanda goes there from Zimbabwe. Certainly he has roots in Mwende, whatever it is, but he was able to accomplish all the things he did. Because he won that seat on the first attempt. But I think it was largely in part because of the support he was getting from the Kasule, who was the Secretary General at that time. At that time, she's a mobilizer, she's good at cadre identification, because that's how she identifies the commanders of this world and gives them opportunity to mobilize and empower them, gives them resources to go and promote the party, strengthen it. She's really somebody, because she does not believe that she has to go to the president. I want to be with Salam Musumba tomorrow, sir, is it okay? You know, this message said a good thing the other day on TV. If it was a good thing, Justin will praise it. She will say this was good.
She makes independent decisions. And
she will not feel that she's in trouble, she's in danger. And she will tell the president to say, sir, this one, no, this is what I think. Then they can discuss. By the way, Aggrey, there is nothing wrong with somebody who debates with a leader. Because that's how you get the best ideas. But if you are going to be, yes, sir, even when you know it will not work. So Kasule, I think, is going to give that office. But again, this is something which shocked me. Because the chief whip has always been an MP.
That's what I'm wondering.
Justin is not an MP.
Yeah.
He's not an MP. But because he's General Museveni, he can always do his things and get away with it. Because this is unprecedented. And that's going to cause a challenge to Justin. Because, you know, people will say, but look, for me, I'm one MP who elected you. Because the chief whip is really like a tax collector. He's an enforcer of the rules. He's a whip. So how are you going to whip people who won elections? For you are not an elected person. That, I think, is going to in some way complicate her work. But also, chief whip, I don't know if you knew this, chief whip, maybe until the days of our sister Anita Mongo, chief whip is the person President Museveni talks to almost on a daily basis, more than he even talks to the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Ordinarily, by the way, he should not be over talking to the Speaker. He should only talk to the Speaker if things are not happening. If the whip is failing to get the agenda move, you know. But he talks, and this has been happening for all those years, for whoever has been a chief whip. Because Museveni takes Parliament very seriously. I do not know why. Sometimes he cracks a joke, he tells them, you are internally displaced persons. You have so many debts to the extent that you can't even go to your constituencies. He values the office of Member of Parliament because he believes these are 500 leaders from the different parts of the country. They elected, they have their network. He does not take them for granted. He does not want to be surprised because in no parliament can do many things to surprise the president. They can impeach his ministers, and ordinarily they don't have even to seek his permission to do that. They can do that. They can even impeach himself. You know, but certainly that's unimaginable in the Ugandan circumstances. So he takes them very, very seriously. He wants to know which MP has which problems, which MP has which strengths. So when they are giving committees, he will have to work with the chief whip. Which MP sits on which committee, which MP has to chair which committee, which MP was diagnosed with cancer, which MP has which debt, which problems, which function. He has to talk to her really multiple times in a day. More than he could even talk to the VP or Prime Minister. Really, this appointment simply means that Kasule Lumumba is back.
Should we say there has been a vacuum in the way things have been done in this office here during Oboa's tenure? Because I think Obo has been the chief whip here. He has been the government chief whip, but he lost the election. He lost the election, and at the moment when he thought maybe he would bring in someone who is an MP, then he brings back Justin Kasule, who once held in the same office. By now she's not in parliament, not even by then she puts him.
But you know, sometimes sometimes people are replaced. People are put there not largely because there was a problem with the previous occupier of that position. Sometimes it's because the appointing authority believes this can do this job better. I think that's what it is. Because Justin is really solid. Okay. I don't know how whether I'm sure she's happy. This is an elevation compared to where she has. This office is extremely important.
Yeah, I know.
And it comes with a lot of resources as well. It really does. It's allocated resources. She has to get things done. Where she cannot do them herself, she will have to refer to the HE. And she has a spine, my friend. You can be sure she will be there for her members of parliament. She will be able to make a peace with the Joel Osenyo on the other side.
The opposition. Because
I believe the new people are going to bring back a Joel also to be her equal the other side, across the aisle. And they are going to really have a good relationship because she's not a sycophant really. She's not somebody who is going to strong an opposition MP because she wants to appease the appointing authority. She's beyond that. Okay. She will be able to sit. And I think she will add a lot of value in the parliamentary commission. Okay. And she can work very well with Tayebwa. She can work very, very well with Tayebwa because I attended a function where Tayebwa thanked two people. You know, Tayebwa originally was the chief whip also at the commencement of the 11th parliament. Okay. Because when he lost the deputy speaker thing to Anita, he was then made chief whip. It's a position really for mobilizer. Okay. One of the things Museveni will look at to give you that thing is to be able to mobilize these people because they are complicated. Those MPs are not easy. So Tayebwa said that he was able to do a good job as a chief whip because he got talking points of his predecessors. Okay. He credited Kasule Lumumba, credited Nankabirwa, and those two again worked together very, very well. Because I think Kasule was replaced by Nankabirwa. Then Tayebwa replaced Nankabirwa. Yeah, Kasule was Secretary General at Chadondo when Nankabirwa was Chief Whip. Then when Nankabirwa left it, it was given to Tayebwa. So Tayebwa was, yes, Tayebwa was saying he was able to do a good job as Chief Whip because he was standing on the shoulders of giants. People who had done the job before he came into the picture. So I'm sure the office of Chief Whip and that of Speaker, because of Tayebwa, I think the relationship is going to really improve. It's going to be a good relationship because of those two personalities. They have a history of working together. And I'm happy really. He's a people person. I don't think she's somebody who is going to make a card as disgruntled. She wants to, and she knows a lot of people in the whole country. You're not going to call her, you say I'm John V here. She doesn't have to say John V of where. She has people, she knows, she has people, she has cadres in the different areas. She knows the country because she was Secretary General of the whole party. She knows the structure of the party. She has these 372 MPs to manage. She really knows what to do. You know, we learn from our mistakes. She was Chief Whip before. Only Museveni knows why she was moved away to something else. But assuming there are things which didn't go well, including the relationship, because Chief Whip actually is the chairperson of the caucus, of the NRM caucus. Now here we are going to have a Chief Whip also who is not an elected person. But then is chairperson of the caucus. She must have an executive. There is an executive. Nabanja, you may not know, Nabanja used to be in her executive when she was Chief Whip. She was treasurer. She was treasurer when Justin was the chairperson of the caucus. So they worked together there. Things were not very okay, you know. I don't know what will happen this time around. But again, she has to coordinate with the office of Prime Minister to get them to the finishing line. And
so, John, let's talk about agriculture, animal industry, and fisheries. Here we have Honorable Frank Tumwebaza, and I think he has been in the same office. He has. Yeah, Frank is, I'm even conflicted. He's a very good friend. I don't even know what to say. But Frank is very perfect one, you know. Though I believe he could even excel better in a different deployment. If he was given a better assignment, foreigner, very good at speaking, very eloquent, speaks with a lot of clarity. If you made him Minister of Information where he was before, if you made him Foreign Affairs there, he will be a very good emissary for the country. But for him, he's versatile. And he will tell you, John V, I'm a cadre. Wherever I'm put, I should be ready to serve. 360. You send him wherever, he will do the job. He's good. And I saw the state ministers he has been given are equally good. I only hope that he can get a better PS. There is a good PS there, but I think he would be better. He would do better with a better PS. You know, PS is also very consequential in a ministry. Yeah, because I saw the Agriculture Minister of State. And so those are people you can work with. You know, he knows how to build teams. You know, it's about teamwork, by the way. Yeah. Because minister, you know, in Toro, where he comes from, they call it minister. Minister. You know, minister cannot be everywhere. You delegate. He's very good at delegation. He's a cadre, he's loyal, he's been around, he won his constituency very resoundingly from his district of Kamwenge. Agriculture, they are here. I see Migade, Robert Migade, Bright Ruamirama, they have already been working together with Frank. Migade is new, the Chakulagas are gone, but Migade is good, he's adaptable, he can adapt, he's well intentioned. You know, he's the chairman of Uganda caucus. That means seniority. He's been in parliament. I think this is his third or fourth term. You know, if you were a minister like a Frank, and you have such colleagues who are equally senior, your work becomes easier. I don't think Migade is going to be fighting for a trip. Kubanga mugazi. Tagenda kubeera excited. Bampadde wa minister, ekintu nange kimpe nkibwatulemu biki. Actually, you talked about the Chakulagas being gone, and I remember I was listening to a certain audio on social media in the morning, where it was a video where some people from Busoga were complaining, at least they were like, maybe they were not rewarded as they deserved, because the president got at least 54% from Busoga, where the support had been deteriorated, and at least they expected an increment in the number of ministers, but instead 2 of them were dropped. and the like, but
Franca is very adaptable. He's a mentor. He wishes colleagues well. He can put it together team. You know, things can only get done if you move as a team. And I see he has also been given someone else. Maybe we shall reach and talk about it also.
Why in the office?
The one of the state ministers.
Yeah,
we can get there later.
Yeah, and the break among very good people, I think. Okay. So